haunted house.
Shall we?
We're closed.
Red McCraith, ma'am, at your service.
Ah, he who killed the beast. Well done.
Thank you. What's your name?
You may call me Jane.
Is this your store?
Yes, it is. Now that Squire Paris has walked on.
Ah. I take it he hasn't just gone for a stroll. Can I ask what happened?
He died. I was out hunting, and when I came back, his spirit had gone. It was wrong to leave him to die alone.
His ghost now haunts you. But you know that, right?
Leave his spirit alone, Banisher.
It's no small thing to be haunted.
It's no small thing to be dead. The Squire has always protected me. That's more than I can say for most people. Now I'll do the same for him.
Dear Jane, too kind.
Paris, I presume.
You presume correct. Squire Sincere Paris, or what's left of him.
I'm a banisher, you know. I could help you, both of you. That's what I do.
I don't know. This is new to me. Jane stands by me, though I'm dead. Oh, remarkable woman.
You've only ever stood by me. Now, Banisher, we have work to do, as I'm sure do you, elsewhere.
You there, a word if I may. We must talk.
I think he means you.
Wonderful. Go on then.
One goes to another. Your rigging says you are, or were, a banisher, correct?
Correct. I'm Antea Duarte, and this is Red McCraith. What can we do for you?
As I'm sure you're aware, someone, somewhere, has made a mistake. Several mistakes, in fact.
Oh, aye.
Yes, I'm not supposed to be dead, and even if I were, I shouldn't be here talking to you. I seem to be haunting Jane. I'd like to employ you to do whatever it is you do and send me on my way.
Do you have any unfinished business that could be keeping you here?
Business was my trade. Trade was my business, but I'm not here because of unsold stock. I must be here for Jane. She was my bodyguard. The contract was informal, but we obeyed it to the letter. For my part, for years I helped to track a group of mercenaries known as the Hummingbirds.
Go on.
I'd rather not. Jane's proudly Pennacook, and her story is her own. She'd tell it to you before she tells your man. She doesn't much trust white men.
I'm shocked. Keep talking.
Before we left New Eden Town, Jane had a secret. She was working on a map. I suspect she was up to something dangerous.
Unfinished business. I'd like to see that map.
If you look behind me, you'll find her quarters. Be discreet. I've betrayed her trust enough.
How do you rebuild a life after such horror?
With help. And Squire Paris seems willing.
I wonder about the epidemic. Was it a local disease or something else?
She's very defensive about that particular patch of forest.
Like you with the blanket when the night is cold.
Jane doesn't trust her boss.
We should poke through the Squire's books.
We're not opening that without a key.
Shouldn't be hard to find.
No keys here.
I wouldn't have kept a key here.
You probably would. There. The Squire's archives. Squire Paris bought Jane's freedom, then hired her as his bodyguard.
That was generous of him. This contract is the ghost tie. Paris had traded with the Pennacook, Jane's people.
He knew she had nowhere else to go.
Did he wish to help, or did he wish to profit? Right. We should talk to the Squire.
Yes?
Hummingbird mercenaries massacred Jane's people. She likely seeks revenge.
Ah, right.
You don't seem surprised.
Why do you think we came to a backwater like New Eden? She knew the hummingbirds had been here.
I wonder if it's this that's keeping you here.
Yes, of course. It must be. Right. That's her. Can I go now?
Jane wants revenge on the mercenaries who killed her people. Maybe that's why you're still here. Give us something to work with, Paris.
Jane had a cache of weapons in the wood. The fiery grove, as she described it. I presume it to mean that the trees there are autumn red.
Arms in the woods. Red leaf trees. Noted.
You traded with the Pennacook, Jane's people.
As I traded with many of the tribes. How do you think I met Jane?
You took her into your employ. Why?
Jane was to be sold, sent overseas as a slave. It pulled my heart. I could not allow it. So I bought her at auction and gave her her freedom. The irresistible river of commerce could, I thought, flow on without her.
Does she know you traded with her people?
She does not, and I like it that way. Best not to wake the sleeping dog. Soon I shall be gone, and all this shall be history, unwritten and forgotten.
We'll take our leave, Squire Paris.
I'll set up shop by my graveside. You'll find me there.
Let's find this fiery grove. She means to kill the hummingbirds.
Hell of a mission for one person alone.
Sincere's attitude is definitely strange, and not only for his constant whining. Jane's fiery grove. Let's search around. This must be Jane's watchtower. Think you could take on a ghost?
Down, boy.
Standing by. Ready and waiting.
Aye, still impressive.
Peaceful. No wonder she kept it to herself.
A haven where one can moan and scheme. Well, I won't want to.
One day you shall have it, and we can scheme in it together. She's an artist. That makes her doubly dangerous.
She suffers alone. Reminds me of me upon a time.
She glories in the killing. You are not the same.
And here's the cash. There's enough powder and shot here to bring down an elephant.
Or a flock of hummingbirds, perhaps.
Jane tracked the mercenaries to the swamps. Jane means to kill them all.
With the help of Squire Sincere Paris.
More Spectre mess for us to clean up.
Let's go do a little scouting.
picking up something spectral nearby. I guess we're bird watching.
Crimson hummingbird should stand out.
Damn.
Get out of there! Watch out!
Reinforcements!
Don't let that spectre get to the corpse.
Piss off!
This explains the abandoned loot.
Aye, it does. Handle with care. But they were just blankets.
I don't like this at all. The smallpox in the blankets was intentional.
The Pennacook were sick. Smallpox. The name from Squire Paris's books. Beauverger.
Sincere Paris knew the mercenaries who massacred Jane's people.
And what they did seems to have horrified him.
Squire Paris traded with the mercenaries.
It's bad, but it's not the full story. I wonder what Jane knows about this.
If she doesn't know it yet, when she hears it, she'll be furious.
We should talk to Squire Paris.
Yes?
Your hands are drenched in Pennacook blood. The hummingbirds gave you pox-riddled blankets to sell to Jane's people. You knew what you were doing and did it anyway.
The hell you say?
Why were the Pennacook attacked?
There was to be no attack. The pox was intended to force them from the land, that's all. The rules of fair play do not apply in love and war. Doubly so in business.
You hid the truth from Jane.
I helped her track the men who killed her people.
But you hid the part you played in the massacre. This is why you linger. You deny your guilt. That binds you to Jane.
Business is business. Guilt can't come into it, or a man would never turn a profit. Guilt can hang. I didn't know the hummingbirds would attack the camp. Soon as I learned they had, I cut all ties.
The only survivor was enslaved. You bought her title and set her free. A cheap salve for your troubled conscience.
Read it how you will, Mistress Banisher. Now the truth is out. May I go?
It's not so simple. You knowingly sold infected blankets to Jane's tribe. She'll have to hear it.
What? No! No! She must not know! I've made amends. For years, she's had my help. You can't tell her? Please, don't tell her.
Sincere Paris sold the blankets to the tribe. I'm ill at the thought.
Did the Squire buy Jane's freedom to assuage his own guilt?
He didn't feel too guilty to profit off her labour. All of him. Unforgivable.
Time to lay it all out for both of them.
I'm sure they'll both be fine with it.
Jay! Don't listen to him. This is a misunderstanding.
Here to come clean, Paris.
What is going on here?
This is your chance, Paris.
The truth, my friend. The truth now.
Have I not always been there for you?
Tell me.
I did not think they would attack you. They swore it was not the plan. I helped you wreak vengeance upon them. Every last one.
Every last one but you. I need no banisher. The spirit of Squire Sincere Paris is mine.
Anything to add, Paris?
Nothing to add. My downfall is complete. Now, do what you do, and send me on my way.
I'm afraid right now it falls to us to end the story. Squire Sincere Paris, you tried to redeem yourself for your evil business. But you're a ghost, and I'm a banisher. We deal death to the dead. That's the trade. And business is business.
No! I've made amends. I've paid my bill.
And now we shall settle your account.
You have no shell, no ties, no purpose.